So in the second stanza, um, poet asks to us, when did my childhood go? Was it the time I realized that the adults were not all they seemed to be? They talked of love and preached of love, but did not act so lovingly. Was that the day? So the writer wants to say that he was just asking the questions to us, to the society. In the second stanza, the poet recalls the time when he realized that the adults around him did not practice what they preached. They told the poet to be loving and caring. However, they were themselves argumentatively violent and discourteous. Their behavior was a far cry from uh, the love. They uh, just advocating the relevant to the child. Thus, the child lost his faith in the adults around him, whom he had so far trusted without questions. Their latent hypocrisy become the evident to the growing child. Perhaps, says Natin, that broken trust was one of the major steps towards the adulthood. Notice that this is perhaps the longest line of the poem. Marcus Nathan at the genius at putting the punctuation to use. The length of this line and the difficulty to recite it one go incidents indicates that is perhaps the biggest loss of the child he suffered. So we go through the next stanza. When did my childhood go? Here he asked in the third stanza. Sorry. When did my childhood go? Was it when I found my mind was really mine to use whichever way I choose, producing thoughts that were not those of other people, but my own and mine alone? Was that the day? So as he grew up, the poet realized that his mind was unique, could form his own opinion, and could take its own decision. He gained a sense of individuality, which set him free from the prejudiced opinion of others around him. His own experiences shaped his thoughts now, and he realized that the might this might have been the time he lost his childhood innocenceness completely. The last stranger he said, where did my childhood go? I went to some forgotten place, that the hidden in the infant's face. That's all I know. So here he was saying that in this final stanza, the poet changes his question from the wondering at what point in time he had lost his child. The poet now wondered where it went. The last three lines may be interpreted in the two ways you can say like that. The poet claims that his child was nothing more than a long lost memory. He calls an infant and believes that his true childhood rights reside there in that infant's face, and the innocence cannot resurface in his lifetime. And in the another meaning, you can say like that the poet believes that the childhood was becoming nothing more than a memory for him, but war has become the reality of some other infant. Innocence in the cyclical process, critical means circular process, which is the loss from the one person. It travels to another, finding residence there. Thus, till date, the adults can easily recall and seems to almost relive their own child through the infants and the life. So, in this poem, the Marquis Nathan wondered when, where he lost his childhood. In this question, to find moment he grew up, Marcus highlights the innocence and the faith he lost even as he uh, gained rational individuality. So, in the short, I will tell you the summary of the poem. The poet Marcus Newton wondered when he had lost his innocence in the childhood. He is perhaps sad that, step by step, he has lost his innocence, and its place have been filled with the foolish crazy and individuality. The so-called rationalism and the hypocrisy. Childhood is a special period of in life, everyone's lifetime. Once gone, never come back. He thinks of a few stages in his life when there was a change in his thoughts and perceptions of the world around him. The poet thinks of place where his childhood has gone. So here he has to be doubt that he can find in hide in the innocence of the infant's face.